back. Unload. And put the lid back on it. Turn the tractor off. I'm just going to leave the tractor set up like that for now. Okay, 3:45. It's sunny, the ground is frozen, and we'll speed up time. And around about 5 o'clock we'll go to sleep for about 16 hours. Oh, did we get new sheep yet? Next animal in 0 years. I would hope that means we get brand new sheep tonight. Okay, it is 5 o'clock. We can sleep. And of course, if we get brand new sheep, probably means we're going to need to feed and water more. So, what does the ground look like? What does the world look like? There you go, we have baby sheeps. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 40. So I think I bought 44 sheep, and in the first, well, whenever I bought them, we now have 5 more. And these guys are getting close to reproducing too. Oh, our sheep. Oh, our 5 new sheep are males. Don't know what happens with male sheep. I think we're supposed to fatten them up and sell them. But whatever. We are going to have to put some water in the ground. So again, off to field 37. Now I do like these small tanks of water that you can put on front of a tractor. So they're a lot easier to maneuver around the yard with. Ooh! But they don't carry much. There we go. So what is it now? It's day 5 late winter. Still can't do anything. Well, I think when we get to day 1 spring, we should, I hope, end up with a result on our oilseed radish. Okay. So pull forward, unload the water, Oh, running low on DEF as well. Let's slow down time again while we feed the sheep some grass. Now, what is today? Okay, so it's late 5. That means, whoops, I'm an idiot. That means we should be able to get away with not having to feed the sheep again. Of course, I could actually be feeding them hay now because it's not raining or snowing. And the hay should remain uninjured. And in we go. Feed them grass. Get that grass back in shelter before Seasons notices I have some random grass that shouldn't be alive in winter. Ugh. And unload. Engine off. Did I turn the lights on? No, I didn't. Okay. We can run over here. 5:30. Sleep for 16 hours. And it is the last day of winter. The ground is still frozen. We're still spending money at $1,200 per month. And the sheep are fine and will be till tomorrow morning. I'll be down around here tomorrow morning. Do we have any more sheep? 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they got fat quick, and we now have 2 more. The female sheep is tiny, not fertile. They won't produce animals, and that one's going to have babies tomorrow. Potentially, who knows. So, what do we want to look at today? We don't want to look at anything today because today is the same as yesterday. So, bump up the time. Oh, that looks like a great demand for soybeans. Excuse me, slow down time. Demand for soybeans, or no, great demand for potatoes. Yes, potatoes. However, our soybeans worth 1,236. We don't have many of them, but that is saying we have a peak price today. Now, it's going to be higher tomorrow, and it's not going to be the best until middle of summer, and we're not playing this till the middle of summer. So I think what we do now is we load this thing up with soybeans and sell the last thing we have that is sellable. Now, if I did want to make some money out of the straw, I could unload it, tip it on the floor, and bring the baler over and bale it up, and then I could sell that. But not straw, with that hay. But really, hay is not incredibly valuable even as bales. Okay. So we will run down to sell point 2, offload these soybeans. I could grab some water on the way back, but frankly I'm not going to bother. So yeah, the male sheep will not breed. I guess they produce wool. But one of the options is if you've got male animals, they're basically designed as slaughter animals, food animals, and the female animals are designed for water or breeding. Okay, how much do we make? 9,900. Okay, so that's covered our costs at $1,000 a day for winter. Which is fine. Oh, and turn, yes. Surprisingly, we are staying on the road without much slippage here. So that's all of our valuable crops sold. As I said, you start the game out with $100,000. I can turn the engine off. We have, let's go to the garage. We sold the 2 starting tractors and bought the New Holland. We sold the harvester and all the headers, and that, and pretty much everything. We bought an adjustable weight, so I can, unlike the Farm Sim 17 adjustable weight where there was a mapped key that would add or remove weights, this one you've got to take into the workshop to add or remove weights. I really wasn't expecting to buy a harvester this year. Normally with seasons I would lease a harvester in the first year and then buy one second or third year in. This is bigger than the trailer we had, as starting equipment. This is bigger than both tractors we had at starting equipment, and we haven't needed a second tractor. When you're playing a farm this small, I can't afford workers during the first year. You run a single tractor operation unless you need a variety of tractors. On a larger farm I would have a big field tractor and a smaller yard tractor, because the yard tractor can maneuver a lot more nimbly than a large tractor, so it's good for putting equipment away. So we bought a single mower, a tedder and a loading wagon. Since we're using the silo to store our hay, straw and grass in, there was no reason to buy a baler. I bought a baler so I could sell the straw that was created, but that cost me 39,000. I think in total I made 10,000 on straw. So real waste of money for that. Bale trailer, primarily used to bring stuff from the store to the farm, seeds and fertilizer. But we've also got it handy for when we eventually produced wool pallets. Chainsaw, front loader, Biobelt's LF180, much better log fork than the in-game log fork. Was a favourite of mine in Farm Sim 17. As soon as it came out for 19, I tried it out, and it's basically the same. It's not error-free, but it is. The two prongs give you much more stability picking up logs. Pretty much everything else standard equipment. And I notice all of the buildings now have value, which they didn't when I started. Or was that on the previous version? Who cares? So, did I turn the engine off? Sounds like I turned the engine off. Okay, that's good. So, it is late winter. Let's speed up time again and run through to about 5 o'clock. We will check sheep food and water levels before we go to sleep. But tomorrow is the day I am seriously interested in. Oh, there we go. Failed to germinate. A little patch there and a little patch there, but the rest is still in a planted state because it's too cold. Hopefully this will grow tomorrow. Oilseed radish is a hardy young crop, so we shouldn't lose anything here, and cultivating that will give us our first level of fertilization. Yeah. So where are we up to? 1140. Yeah, and rather than adjusting my season lengths, I'll just do this when I don't, when I don't need to do anything for a day. I can accelerate time to 120. I have been fairly strict in keeping time at ×5 during the working days. So, if you end up with a day where nothing was happening, okay, I'll go and spend the afternoon chopping down trees and making money that way. But because I'm running at ×5, it's only an hour of gameplay of chopping down trees before it's night time, and it's time to call it a day. The first 2 days of this farm started out with all the fields fallow, previous year fallow, needed lime, needed ploughed. So I rented a plough, and it took me 2 days to plough all of the fields with my one tractor, with the biggest plough it could use. It took me the rest of the second day to lime them all, and I rented both pieces of equipment for that. So I just had the tractor, a rented plough, a rented spreader, and then after that I bought the seeder. Because obviously I'm going to use the seeder a lot, and that's an ongoing piece of equipment. I'm not going to lime for another 3 years, so why buy a spreader? I'm not going to plough ever again unless I start planting corn, so why keep a plough on the roster? You don't need a harvester until fall, so I didn't buy the harvester until fall. As an experiment, I did plant the top field to the left of this tree here with oilseed radish, and then put soybeans in it when the oilseed radish grew, just to see the effect of that. And we did end up with some non-germination, or failed to germinate, on the oilseed radish in that field. All the other fields I planted as soon as was possible, generally completely with cereal crops. So it was either oats, wheat, barley or canola. Okay, we're up to 5 o'clock. Slow down time. Check the animals. Oh, excuse me. How many baby animals do we have now? We have 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. 1, 2. Seriously, quit. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only one girly sheep. And their value will change as... We'll show that tomorrow, I think. So, yeah, it's end of winter. So let's step on up and go to sleep. Spring is here. Yay, spring. Snow is still on the ground. Okay, so how do the sheep look now? Click. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we've had 18 sheep in the first year from 44 sheep. And of those, dang, we have 1, 2, 3 girly sheep. We feed up the rest. We have wool being produced. Yay. So that's a thing. So run over here and have a look at the wool. Yay, wool. Okay. Next thing I was going to do was jump over to the we can visit the barn, no big deal. We need to go, I think, here. Large sheep pasture. So the sheep we have cost us 417 new. Actually, I think they cost us less because we bought them when they were cheaper, but currently our biggest sheep are valued at 353, so they're worth less than we paid for them. Our baby sheep are half value. It grows slowly, is not very prolific. Okay, so what did we say about 18 sheep from 44? But they don't eat much food, and they're great for wool, so that's why we bought them. I mean, choices were you could buy that one, which is a large breed, grows moderately fast, modest wool production. So they're the cheapest sheep on the block, which is why I bought them. We're just, this was just a tryout farm. It wasn't going to be a long-term playthrough. But I think we have discovered... Hi, cow. I think we've learnt a fair amount through this playthrough. So sheep produce wool in the spring. I don't know... I don't recall when I bought them though. So that field needs lime. There's the river. And oh, that's field 37. Let's run out in front of some cars. So again, we can probably plough the land now because it's stuff. Does not look like this has started growing yet. It's pointed at the ground. Yeah, still 0% growth. So it's not warm enough. The ground temperature would need to hit, is it 5 degrees? Oh, what's that? Withered. Field 23 is withered. Field 14 is withered. I wonder what happened there. That was the oats and barleys. Wow. So that was in the ground. Oh, I should have paid more attention. Seasons menu. So it was their frost resistance, and they just died. Wheat and oats. So they have quite high frost resistance once they start growing. A seed, they can cope with it, but still. So we need it to be 5 degrees before, hang on, where's oilseed radish? 6 degrees before the oilseed radish will wake up now. We're at 0 degrees ground temperature, so I could cultivate this now. I wouldn't, because it's 0 degrees ground temperature and I won't be able to plant anything in the ground at this point. So we're good. Oh, I left my liquid fertilizer lying around. I did want to put that in this shed over here. It turns out this shed is too low. The doors are too small to get a harvester through. And it wouldn't let me let the tyres down so I could reverse it into the shed. I've got my pickup wagon in there. Oh, that's where the cows are. Nice. We didn't try out any cows this time around. I went for the easiest animal possible. Next time we will be... Well, let's think. So I'm currently thinking about Oakfield Farm as a replacement to Lawfolds. Lawfolds still has a number of weeks to go before we get to the end of that playthrough. We're probably going to be closer to Christmas before we get that one done. This farm now needs a replacement. I may go Greenwich Valley, I may go Geiselberg. I'm really not sure at the moment. I'll probably spend the next week or so looking at some European maps to pick as a replacement to this farm. For the rest of this week, I think tomorrow and Thursday we'll be playing World of Warships because I want to get the directives finished. Then Friday, if I'm feeling up to it, we'll join Arthur if he's running the multiplayer stream. And Saturday we'll be back to Lawfolds. Wednesday I might take a day off. We have a lot of cleaning up going on because we're trying to get the house into a condition to sell. The painters should be done by the end of the week, and we should be listing it next week. So once it's listed, there's less running around tidying up in the evenings, but at the moment we're trying to declutter the garage. Yeah, we've got boxes in there that we moved into the house with that we haven't opened. So how much in those boxes do we actually want to retain? We found some old photos, wedding photos, some of my vacation photos, so obviously we keep those, but some of the other stuff that's going to either to Goodwill or to is already in the trash bin. But outside of that, that's all that's going on. So as far as this playthrough is done, as soon as I've completed this, I will be updating the map to full seasons and deleting this game save because you need a new game save for... What do you get up there? Ooh. I could probably jump on a tractor. Oh, there's a ladder. Huh? Oh, well. The door doesn't work. Oh well. Yes, so, sorry, distraction, squirrel. So yes, this playthrough is done and will be deleted from my hard drive. I will be updating the map to seasons capable. I will not be coming back to this as a major playthrough again. We'll look at new maps as the life cycle of FS19 goes. I may come back for a couple of samples. I did in FS17. I didn't start streaming till this time last year, and I was well ensconced in Lawfolds. That's now in its 6th year with seasons playthrough, and yeah, I've got over 600 hours in that game. But just before FS19 came out, I did do a quick startup stream, how I start up a regular game and how I start up a seasons game, and sort of highlighting the differences between the two. And outside of that, we probably won't be back to Old Stream Farm until FS21, if Black Sheep Modding decides to keep going with the map. But I would like to thank Black Sheep Modding. He probably doesn't watch this or any of my videos, but I would like to thank him for the wonderful map he's produced. And even though I'm playing it in the not seasons ready version, it has been a joy to revisit this map. The changes to it over FS17 are nice. It's sort of like you're stuck in this old old village where technology really hasn't taken hold, but there is now major new industries encroaching. The BGA, the new dealership. The modern world is encroaching on this little sleepy village, and it's a cool thing. But for now, I need some sleep, so I will wish you all well. Have a good night, and I will be back tomorrow with some warships. But for now, I'm out of here.